Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. There is a melancholic mood in Nyanza, especially in the Luo region. This is because in the recent past, the government unleashed terror on most of the Raila supporters who come from Luo land. They were maimed and many are nursing injuries and recuperating in several hospitals, different medical facilities in the country. Others have already been maimed. Many are dead. Now this was aggravated by careless and reckless statements from the head of the department that is supposed to take care of the people of Kenya, the police. The Inspector General, who is heading a department that is maintained by taxpayers' money, a department that is supposed to maintain law and order, spoke what many feel are the sentiments of Rigathi Gachagua and William Samoei Ruto. After killing people, the Inspector General accused the Azimio leadership of hiring dead bodies to parade to Kenyans and accuse the police, something that is very sad. Sentiments that should only come from a beast. I believe Koome is apparent. This has really elicited comments and sentiments, criticism from several quarters. The union that governs morticians, mortuary attendants, called on the Inspector General to come clear on this and make sure, because they've got everything in their hands to investigate and prosecute those who perpetuated what he calls hiring of dead bodies from the mortuary, something that is illegal. And if he doesn't do so, then should actually come clean and apologize. Today, Raila Odinga led a host of other Azimio leaders in a requiem mass of dead bodies from Bondo. Bondo is the home area of Raila Odinga, in fact the constituency that falls in Siaya. And they wanted to ensure that the international community nationwide, they see that people were actually killed, murdered in broad daylight. Most of them were retrieved from their homes and their houses in the dead of the night, some in broad daylight, and they were beaten and maimed, and some of them died. In that requiem mass, Raila wanted to show that Inspector General was misguided by the powers that be, because they feel that they have powers. Three things happened in that requiem mass. First of all, the Azimio fraternity were all there. I saw Raila Odinga, Kalonzo, Martha Karua, Jeremiah Kioni, Eugene. They were all represented, people like Wajakoya. They were showing solidarity with the people who died. Now they ensured that each and every casket had a name and a portrait on it. If it is Fred Achando, the casket is there, my portrait and my name, just to show the whole country that these people are dead. They are not tired, because those were very sad and unfortunate statements. So they ensured, and if you look at Raila, he was moving from one casket to the other, bowing, going to another and another and another. Those are people who have lost their loved ones, as Koome is enjoying the trappings of power. They also ensured that they called, there's another lady there who was called, a mom who had lost a child, and she spoke on behalf of all those who lost their loved ones, and she narrated what happened about her son, who is, I think, doing some manual jobs in Bondo. He's actually a hustler. And by the end of her statement, she just said, only God knows, because it has happened. This was to show that people who lost their loved ones were there. Because what Koome was actually saying was that people were hired, and that therefore you would not even find their parents or loved ones. Do you think you can be bribed today to go and speak in such a mass and say that I lost a loved one when you didn't lose one? It cannot happen. So the owners, or those who, the mothers and fathers and friends and relatives of those who lost their lives, were represented there in a very somber mood. And they narrated. Now what caught my attention was a young guy who has got a bullet lodged in his heart. And the doctor told him that that bullet cannot be retrieved, because in the event that it is removed, that is the end of him. Some of these body parts are very vital, so that when a bullet is lodged in it, you don't remove it. And he was told he has to accept to live with it. This is someone who was well, working, very stable, could do his jobs. Within a twinkle of an eye, because of some careless police officers who we pay with our taxes, his life has changed. I'm sure this guy cannot do any difficult jobs. I'm sure haizi fanya mjengo. He cannot carry a heavy load. And I believe he has to remain the breadwinner of his family. But his life has changed, and he has to live with the reality that someone, by a trigger, changed his life. And so such were the scenes in that Yuki Mass in Bondo, just to show the whole nation that we are not playing politics. People suffered. We have victims of police brutality. I don't know what Koome is thinking wherever he is. I don't know what happens when someone is in power. We engross our heads so much in the sand that we forget that we are also parents. We even forget that power is transient. Today it is there. Tomorrow it will not be there. Otiende Molo read the names of those who have suffered, putting a name and a region where they come from, just to show the nation that we have people who are killed. The bodies were paraded, and no one can dispute. This is coming when, on two occasions, one, Kimani Chungwa once stood in front of Parliament, actually on the floor of Parliament, and told off Luo leaders to stop taking their children to the bullets. You can imagine. And it brought a lot of hard sentiments. When people are dead, tuko katika ile harakati ya kuwachangia, someone stands na anatuambia that kama viongozi msipeleke watu wenye kuuawa. When the police is supposed to protect those who are demonstrating and also protect those who are not demonstrating, they decided to kill people en masse. And a leader can stand in front of people and tell us to stop taking people. It is like he's telling us to stop taking a bull to a butcher. And then yesterday, the Gatuntu South Member of Parliament, another careless Member of Parliament, in a KTN talk show, told Opondo Kaluma, one of the ODM Members of Parliament, to stop using their people as a shield. I mean, it's reckless, and Opondo had to walk out of that talk show. There are some members of Parliament who have decided that the demonstration that took place was a Luo affair. It is like the Luos are the only people who are hell-bent on causing mayhem in the country. Yet we all know that people were fighting and lamenting against the high cost of living, against the taxes that William Ruto had raised, and they had to meet their death. In fact, today, William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, Kimani Ichung'wah, Ndindi Nyoro, Inspector General Japheth Koome, Gatundu Member of Parliament Kagombe must be shamed because it has been proved. Even though we knew all along that Azimio could not hire bodies, but today they have been ashamed. The last question that people are asking, if you can hire dead bodies from the mortuary, can you hire bodies riddled with bullets and parade to the country? We have degenerated too low. We have condescended too low. And Kenya can never progress when leaders from a certain community think that they are bigger than our nation. We can play around with everything, but we should never play with the blood of our innocent people. This is how people get radicalized. You see, God has always protected us, held us close to his heart as a country. In 2007, we almost plunged into that abyss of violence. People died, people lost their lives, but very fast we recovered. And it seems we have taken this for granted. One day, things will degenerate out of our hands. And these reckless talks and chest thumping should stop, because all Kenyans are taxpayers. We can never rejoice when a certain community is being targeted. We can never rejoice when innocent Kenyans are being killed for nothing. Let us call upon our leaders to exercise a lot of restraint so that we progress as a nation.